I mean, the government is criminal in the U.S. and Canada and England. They want to put bags on our heads and take us away to be murdered on record. They are murdering criminals that work for banks that are robbing us. I'm sorry, go ahead. Folks, do you understand it's real? It's real. Go ahead.
Private security can now have you arrested if you don't give your details over to them.
This is a global stratagem, just like we saw at the G20 in Pittsburgh.
No, absolutely. And I just want to say as well, I've been dealing with police in America, in Holland, in Germany, in the UK, and I've never felt such vicious, fascist, thuggish, scumbag behavior as the G20.
What have you heard me say for years? I mean, Canada, they got me for 15 hours and literally just growled and cussed and said, I hate you. I want to put you in a Toronto prison. If I find one thing to put you in prison, you're going. And they were all demonic and these little black armored things with gray shirts on, just giggling. And they've been caught in Canada hiring provocateurs to attack police so they can beat the hell out of Canadians. I mean, Canadians have an evil government and they need to wake up to it.
Yeah, I had the special anti-terror detective unit from the G20 Protection Force were interviewing me twice this morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, saying, look, you're not really a filmmaker, are you, Charlie? We know why you're really in Canada. We have no record of your entry into Canada. You are really here to cause trouble. You are a violent anarchist, and unless you start giving us names of your anarchist friends, you're never going to get out of this cell. You're going to be in the cell for 6 days until your flight back to London when we'll deport you.
So basically, make stuff up and admit you're a terrorist, or we're going to put you in jail.
Yeah, and they were just saying, look, you're lying. Unless you admit you're a violent
anarchist. Well, they work for a narcotics trafficking, child slave trafficking government. Canada is involved in every evil known to man.
Yeah. And you know that gentleman you had on the Star, the Toronto Star, the Dave Vasey? I was actually in the cage next to him. It was like something out of Guantanamo Bay. At the Toronto Film Studios, they've created these gigantic American football stadium-sized battery cages.
No, this is all drills. I mean, Jesse Ventura, I'm consulting for him on his film about FEMA camps, and I keep explaining, it is the sports stadiums. They admit they can turn any town into a giant camp in hours, and all of this is a drill about private security goons grabbing you, putting a bag over your head. They've almost got the bill passed, and they'll just arrest whoever they want. I mean, the government is criminal in the U.S. and Canada and England. They want to put bags on our heads and take us away to be murdered on record. They are murdering criminals that work for banks that are robbing us. I'm sorry, go ahead. Folks, do you understand it's real? It's real. I mean, that's it. It's don't protest. Just let the banks rob everything. Just let us run everything, or we're going to SWAT team you. We're gonna put you in prisons. We're gonna hire provocateurs so we can attack you, as the Royal Mounted Police have been caught. I mean, this is the end. This is simultaneously every country they meet in. The G20 bankers use it as a model for the special security event, law enforcement, threat fusion center, grid takeover. This is a red alert. Continue.
Yeah, the absolute reason they chose Toronto to host the G20 in is because they know they can transport in big buses thousands of people to these holding cells, these cages on the outskirts of town, and process them and strip search them. And I almost reached breaking point, Alex. I almost snapped psychologically, because it really is utterly nightmarish.
And then they'll have you on video, and then they get to come in and beat you with billy clubs and restrain you, and then, oh, he died. Oh,
I have to back up Alex. It's very real.
I work for the bankers. We're overturning all the republics, all the freedom, which is a humiliation pleasure for the pervs. Alex, just like they make you put your kids in a naked body scanner. It's about their religion of dominating us. We are entering hell. Go ahead.
Absolutely, Alex. They wouldn't even let me take the handcuffs off to urinate, to use the bathroom, and they were watching me, and I said, can I have a bit of privacy? They're like, no.
No, with Luke Radowski, they would strip them and then laugh at all of them at the G20. And they said it was military with cops just like going, you filth. And they would just pull their pants down. And not that anybody had anything to be ashamed of, but they would just, ha, 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 ha. Ah, we've got this country down. It's ours. Oh, God, we love Goldman Sachs. Rape them, Goldman. Rule. Oh, God. Let us destroy the American people. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I mean,
Yeah,
the government is criminal in the U.S. and Canada and England. They want to put bags on our heads and take us away to be murdered on record. They are murdering criminals that work for banks that are robbing us. I'm sorry, go ahead. Folks, do you understand? It's real. It's real. Go ahead.